So, next part of our playthrough, and we have a lot of money, so we need to get a car. And specifically, we need a convertible. So, thinking about getting a PS2 for GT4, I recommend it. It's pretty cheap to get into. Let's check the price though. $62,000 for the TVR. That's pretty good. Could always do a Lotus, I think. Let's find that Porsche roof. 76 grand. Money's not really a problem. If anyone else has any other suggestions, I'm just gonna buy a TVR. But if anyone else has anything to say, last second out of a convertible, pop that in the chat. Otherwise, I'm buying a TVR. As for the colors of TVR, I don't know. I always like getting in red, but I'm thinking maybe the yellow's not bad. Yeah, I'm thinking the yellow. What's my favorite car from Toyota? Probably the MR2 or the Supra Mark IV. I know everybody likes the Supra Mark IV, so I don't want to be too generic. But the MR2 is nice. Looks like the Griffith people like, so I'm gonna go with that. Let's buy it. Okay. The newer Griffith is nice, yeah. Everyone who's played Asphalt 9 knows what I mean. This is the old one. So in terms of tires, I need tires. That's a fact. I guess I don't know what to go with. I'm thinking of buying the slicks. I'm all just guessing over here. And in terms of upgrades, I'm not sure if we need 400 horsepower. I don't know what we're dealing with. I'm just gonna quickly Google what the competition has. Hey, nobody has horsepower information. Well, how about this? Let's buy the Stage 2. I feel like that's a safe place to buy it. We'll go Stage 1, which is 366. Let's just do that. If it doesn't work, then we got the money to adjust. If it does work, or if it works too well, then we can tune down. But yeah, Professional League. In here for the first time. Spider and Roadster is the first series we'll do. And like I mentioned before, it's open to all convertibles. Yeah. First up is Grand Valley Speedway. And one thing to mention is Professional League. You notice, like, if we started GT3, the length of the races was like 2 laps, then it was 3 laps, then it's 5 laps, then a couple races were 7 laps. Professional League's all 10 or 15, and we're starting with the 10 lappers. So, yikes. Especially Grand Valley, which is a long track, this takes a while. Take about 30 laps of racing, which is like a 6-race championship in Amateur League, which is not all that bad. Let's see. It's 418 horsepower, and the tires we have enough. I'm hoping to do no pit stops. Uh-oh. They're pretty quick. The one thing about Professional League versus Amateur League is there is no rubber banding at all. What you see is the fastest the AI can go. They go full throttle, full push, 100% of the time. So when I drift like that, it's not good. Not good for the car. We did no suspension upgrades, no drivetrain upgrades, so nothing to help us with turning. We just slapped some horsepower. We might need to make a pit stop. So maybe I picked the wrong tire. I know the Lotus tends to go long. So you notice the Elise 190 is in this event, even though, I mean, I guess most Lotuses are convertibles. That looks like a hard top to me. Now, if someone can correct me, does the Elise 190 have a convertible option? So could you quit or take a break from A9? If you're tired of the game, absolutely take a break. Don't feel like you're forced to play the game. So I feel like I can race these guys, and I feel like I have the right amount of horsepower. Yeah, stage 2 is the right call. So we're racing the TVR Griffith, which is kind of unsurprisingly the most powerful opponent. I don't know if he's got the full upgrade, or if he's also stage 2, but we gotta catch him. So we were 2.8 seconds behind on that lap. Will I buy the 22B? Well, don't spoil it, but yeah. I'm not gonna buy a roof for Boxer Spirit. Big slide. Tez? Yeah, I still talk to him. I am very familiar with Tez. I never forgot him. So let's see. So I've switched to now pushing instead of trying to save tires. I see you, Supreme. I know you're Subin. Oof, the gap increased. Does he pit often? I don't think so, though. Okay. He's slowly extending the gap. I mean, I could try to drive as fast as possible. But if I'm not at least maintaining the gap, you know, driving my laps and not making mistakes like that, that's going to be a problem. It says say my name, even though I already called him out. Okay. So now the gap is 4.7. I'll do one more lap, and if I can't nudge something out of him, then I'll go back and add more power. And maybe make this car a bit more drivable. I mean, I also try to drive a bit faster. So it looks like with the way I'm treating this car, these tires are going to last about 5 laps. It will not last the whole distance. Even if I put the super slicks, it won't last the whole way. So we gotta work our car around being fast, but doing 2 stints. Bit of improvising there. The Super Slicks would be a better choice, but I'm also treating this car like crap because I'm trying to drive as fast as I can. This car is a bit more drivable. These tires will last 5 laps at least. I think if I could reduce the weight and make the car a bit less like slidey, then that would help. But I lose a lot of time in like these slow parts of the track, like right here, because I try to send the car, get a good angle, but then once I try to get the power down, it steps out. Otherwise I'd take it really slow like that. Okay, so I can see the car in the distance. Thunder's here. Welcome back. Been a while. Say your name. Okay. Insane gamer dude. I'll do that just to spite. So now we dropped the gap to 3.8. You know what? Is this going to be enough? We dropped the gap just a bit. I wonder if his tires are going. Should we commit to this? I'm keeping it in third gear so I don't make the car step out too much. But look, he's coming kind of close. 2.7 seconds. You know what? I'm going to stick with this. The thing is with the soft and super soft tires is they do not last a long time. They last only a couple laps at best. They have so much grip, but they're good for qualifying only. Or a race that has no tire wear. 2.5 is our gap now. I do notice the tires now work a little bit less, and that's because they're yellow. I'm also driving a little bit cleaner. Trying not to make the car step out too much so I don't lose much time. But look at that. He does seem a little bit closer, the car. TVR. So he's not too stopping. Gap's now 1.7. So it looks like we're faster in the middle and second part of the track. Like the middle to end sectors. Here we go. We could finally see him. Like, properly look at the car. No contact. Whoa, he bumped the wall there. So I take the lead for the first time. Now here's the question. Should I pit right now or should I do one more lap so I can have fresh tires at the end? See, my tires are starting to turn a little orange. Whoa. A little bit of a lip. I'm pitting now. Look at that, he's pitting with me. We got a race here. You know what? No, let's stick with this. We got a race going. Now the big question is, what does the rest of the field do? Like the Lotus. I know the Lotus notoriously does not like to stop because its tires last forever, basically. Good stop. But now the rest of the field cuts through. And we find ourselves ahead of the TVR, but we also need to catch the guys. Because if they don't hit, then I need to pass them on track. This is like Charles Leclerc at the Turkish Grand Prix. I'm doing the Bottas strat. Take the lead of the race, take a safe pit stop, and then try to reduce that 5-second gap. The one thing to remember is that TVR was really quick on fresh tires. Try not to push the tires too much on this first lap, but they are pretty broken, not broken in. Tires work best when they're like green. Look at that, we're already reducing the gap just a bit. If you keep P2 behind your P1. That's basically us right now, though. We just gotta make sure we don't get passed by this TVR who's on the really fresh tires. So it's 2 Lotus cars. Toto's not happy with Bottas' fast lap, but he still went faster anyway, better than Lewis's fast lap. So I guess there was a roof behind us, and he decided to pit. So yeah, it's 2 Lotus Elises, or is that a Lotus Elise and a Tommy Kyra now? Yeah, it's a Tommy Kyra ZZS. If I remember correctly, his tires do not last the whole 10 laps. He's having a good scrap with the Lotus though. Coming through. These guys on absolutely shredded tires. I'm just gonna claw through the field. Look at that, we made our strategy work. We did the Bottas at Turkey. The no stop doesn't work. Now that TVR is gonna be held up by traffic, so that's gonna only help us. I buy an FTRX7. I mean, I have one. For NA, I don't know if I should do the RX-7 or if I should get like a sports car, like a Viper or a Corvette or something. I was thinking of buying a luxury car. So that's kind of what we're gonna deal with, like a Zonda and Viper and Lotus Elise and all that stuff. So what's our lap time going to be? It's a high 158. But now we're clear of traffic so we can drive as fast as we want. I still think in the next race we should maybe bulletproof our car a little bit. Because I had no idea if the strategy would work. Now we know it does. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the longest track we have on our series list. So while this race is going to take about 20 minutes, I don't think the other races will take as long. I could be wrong. I don't remember the full list. But by the Supra, I haven't figured out what I want to do for turbo sports because there you need like 1,000 horsepower. And I think the Supra can do 1,000. I don't know. Something I thought about was the Lotus Esprit. Never really played with that car that much, but you can do a lot with it. Do I have the Series X or S yet? No, I'm not really planning on buying the new Xbox at this time. I saw Series S at Costco for only $289, so they had Series S's plenty in stock, and they were below MSRP because Costco always gives you a deal. So if you guys are interested and you guys are looking for a Series S specifically, the one without a disc drive, check your Costco because they have some good stuff. Forza Horizon 5? Thunder, you forget that Forza Horizon 5 will have a PC version that I am going to do. I'm going to buy the PC version. Just like I did with Horizon 4. my strategy for next gen was PC and PS5 because I want PS5 for its exclusives. Microsoft's doing their exclusives also on PC, then that's not a problem for me. What's the PC specs? Well, it's the same one I have right now. I got this laptop. It's a gaming laptop that I got in like 2017. And it runs Forza Horizon 4 just fine on like medium to high settings. So I'm just hoping Horizon 5 runs the same. It seems like it will though. I mean, I eventually plan to upgrade my PC, but the parts market has really been shot this last couple of years. Especially the GPU market. Which kind of sucks, because I was ready to invest in a build. A nice build. But I think it's going to wait for the time being. I have a couple stuff I did sort, like the monitor. But I just do not have the patience to get an MSRP value and try to scalp. Well, not scalp, but like, you know, try to get everything, spend hundreds of hours trying to find the best deals in a time where it's really hard to do that. Pretty sure we drove a Super in a license test somewhere down the line. Is there a Yesko in the Koenigsegg? There are no Koenigsegg's at all in any Gran Turismo. And I don't think they're coming to GT7. At least they haven't announced it yet. You're waiting for a 3070. Yeah, a 3070 would be nice at MSRP. Any 3000 series, to be honest. It's better than the 20 series. So the Elise does pit right at the end. And Tommy Kyra is going on the nose stopper. Interesting, so I was wrong. Tommy Kyra lasts the longest. Not that that matters, because we passed him on track. And also, the TVRs fell off a cliff. You notice that? I think he's stuck behind the Tommy Kyra. So that was weird. We thought on lap 2, like, okay, this race is slipping away from us. We just held out and won it. Pretty much. I just gotta bring it to the end. Yeah, he died in dirty air. Guys, dirty air is in Gran Turismo 3, totally. No, I think the non-existence of blue flags is what did him. In GT Sport, there are blue flags, funny enough. And I'm pretty sure they'll be there in GT7. Our tires are getting shot, but you know what? I made the tire strategy work. Bring it home. We got ourselves a big lead. Look at, I think it's the S2000 in last place, who's in absolute pain. He's still in the first sector of the track. Here we go, final turn. 20 minutes later. Welcome to Professional League, guys. This series is legit going to take an hour to go through. But there we go. And let's just see how far it takes for second place to come through. Yeah, Tommy Kyra, of all cars, made it to the end. I thought the TVR would get an easy second. There we go. 15 seconds was our gap. And on the Griffith, the other Griffith, that we were struggling in the first stint, finished a distant 17.5 seconds. 2, maybe 3 if I could squeeze him in. It depends. Grand Valley's one of the longer tracks. Let's see if I can get a good thumbnail shot in like the first couple corners. They just keep giving 10 out of 10s. I'm going to be watching the whole race at this rate, so I got enough shots to work with. And, okay, so before I hit up Trial Mountain, maybe I should make the car a little bit easier to drive. So I'm thinking maybe a sports suspension or something. Yeah. Let's do a sports suspension. Brakes are important, but I think we're okay. In terms of weight reduction. You know, that makes the car a little bit slidier though. Could give it an LSD. Then again, this is a raw sports car. I think the sports suspension's enough. We'll stick with the tires. I'm thinking, do we need brakes for Trial Mountain? You know what? Let's buy brakes. I don't know why, but I feel like I need brakes actually. Just cuz. Honestly, you should never have to ask, do we need brakes? Because you have to get a type of car. Oil looks alright. I think maybe in the final race we should change it. I see the final race is Monaco, and that's actually going to take quite a while. That one you'll want a lightweight car for, so you might need to put the lightweight upgrade on. So is Forza Horizon 5 going to be a GT killer? I still feel like they are way too different of a game to compare like that. They're far too different. So, 10 laps Trial Mountain. Same, exact same opponents actually. Then I think we got a Motorsports Elise now. So great. Instead of a roof. We'll stick with the slick tires. I just hope our suspension and brakes can just make it a little bit easier to drive. And yeah, the Griffith's back. Here's where I think the Elise's tires really kick in. US Grand Prix? I mean, everyone says Mercedes is going to win it, but I'm going to do a oddball, and I'm going to say Charles wins it, just to be fun. I feel like we're due for another Hamilton-Verstappen crash. As cruel as that sounds, I feel like it's going to happen again. So I'm going to say Charles is going to win a Grand Prix. He's going to steal a win somewhere. So we cut through the rest of the field, but once again we find ourselves in second behind a TVR that's going pretty fast. But maybe his tires drop off again. The good news is this is a shorter lap. So this race will take a little bit shorter than Grand Valley. The bad news is it's so short that the Lotus will not pit. Final sprint race is Brazil, so it's going to crash there? No. I'm going to maybe say then even they do have 2 crashes. They have 2 crashes. It shouldn't be an uh-oh because Max is in the lead of the championship, right? So if they both crash, that actually helps him. Everyone's sort of like written off Red Bull all of a sudden because they weren't as fast in Turkey, but they're still mega quick. GamesX thinks that I should be a Twitch streamer who has 5,000 viewers chatting at the same time. I think I'm having a pretty active chat, reasonably. So GamesX is like, hey guys, I'm gonna say dead chat, even though there's 8 people watching, which is single digit, but there's enough people chatting to keep a conversation. But instead it's dead chat, because I like to say dead chat. So, back to our normal conversation. Next week is a 2 a.m. race, yeah, for you guys in Australia and Asia. It's like when we had to watch Australia, China, Japan over here, where you have to wake up super early or stay up super late. Alright, so the gap is 2.9. I think I can throw the car a little bit more since we add the suspension. The car steps out a lot less. Want to go to a Grand Prix down the line? I almost bought tickets for the US Grand Prix, but then I decided not to because I wasn't sure about COVID. I want to go to the Indy 500 next year. Probably want to go to Road America IndyCar again. And then, yeah, I probably want to do the US Grand Prix. Everyone's talking about Miami, but everybody's sleeping on Coda. And I want to do Coda. We just hit 40 hours. I just realized that. Wow. That hour count is going to go up. Up, up, up. But if it took 20 hours, 40 hours for us to get through 60% of the game on what is considered the normal part of the game, then what's going to happen with the professional league? But yeah, everyone's sleeping on Coda, which means I want to go there. Because I don't know how Miami's going to be. There'll be plenty of chances to go to Miami. I feel like Miami's going to be Monaco 2, where all the rich people and celebrities are going to scalp the tickets on the first run. And they're going to forget about it next year. And as much as I'd love to see Miami's first run, I will not buy the tickets. I've seen that flights and hotels there are already super expensive because everyone's prepared for that. We have a race day. So even if the tickets I manage to grab, what everybody forgets about traveling to a sports event, especially when we have to stay in another town, is the flight and hotel, which those prices are jacked up. You have to buy the tickets early, try to find a deal. Which, unfortunately for me who works, you know, you gotta find time off. There's just a bunch of hassle that goes aside from buying the actual ticket itself. I wish there was a race in Chicago, because when I did Road America, I literally just hopped in my car and just drove 2 hours up north. The only two racetracks that are drivable for me are Road America and Indianapolis, and I guess the Joliet Speedway that they ran a NASCAR race before. But, yeah. No F1 tracks in driving distance for me. I have to fly. I think Coda was confirmed for next year though, so I think I'll go there first. A NASCAR Chicago street race. I did see that they're going to race through downtown, which is actually sort of where I work. Sort of. That'd be interesting. I know NASCAR races happen on Sunday, so I won't be working in here. That'd be funny to be doing my client work and just have a bunch of NASCAR engines going brrrr all the time. I'd probably go see that then. So, in 5 laps, we've managed to catch the TVR. See, my tires are in prime condition right now. So I'm wondering, should we pit now so we can have this prime condition for the end of the race? Or should we use the tire on lap 6 while it's good and pit then? Basically, can my lap 10 be better? Do I need these tires for lap 10 or lap 6? I feel like lap 6 would be the worst choice. I don't know. I'm going to try going 6 laps on this, though. Because these tires feel really good right now. If we're running 129s, low 130s, then that's what we need to do. But that Lotus is in our pit window, which is not good. I'm going to push as much as I can on this lap. and box. Okay, see ya games. See ya F8. Alright. So, I didn't keep track of my sector time, so I don't know if I'm on a best lap. But I noticed that Lotus just rounded around that corner, which means he's about 10 seconds back, so I'm going to have to pass him on track in 4 laps. Alright, let's go. Walks this lap, walks this lap. And look at that, TVR's following me. Alright, say goodbye to my lead and let's hope that we can make this stop count. Look at that, TVR slots in right behind me. There goes the Lotus. Time to catch him. Thankfully, we only lose second place, or first place. You don't have the other Lotus to worry about that much. Or is that the Tommy Kyra right behind us? I didn't even pay attention. Looks like Tommy Kyra, actually. But the Lotus Motorsport Elise is what we have to worry about. And I think he goes to the end. So, our tires are really skiddy right now, because they're fresh. This is why I didn't want to do the super slicks. So I'm going to try and push the ever-living hell out of them because I want to make sure they're broken in so I can use them. So what Squid Game puzzle am I good at? I mean, red light, green light is probably the one I'd be most likely to win. Even though I'm an actuary, I probably can't win the stepping stones game. I could probably win marbles though. I mean, I think realistically, everybody's best shot is marbles. Because you pick the game. You can do the marble racing like on Twitch. Why did nobody do that? Why did nobody load up marbles.ttv or whatever it's called? So, I noticed our gap was 5 seconds from 6 seconds. 4 seconds. I don't care about the S2000 pitting. There he is, 3 seconds. I think we can catch him. Arav, welcome. Oh, and then sugar honeycombs I would die on because that seems really difficult. Everyone thinks, oh, I could do it, but the way it's like designed, the caramel, it's gonna break as soon as you try to split something. So here we go. That Elise is right there in our sights now. .128, new fastest lap on these fresh tires. So our out lap worked. I slid these tires enough to break them in. And now we have broken in tires. And look, he's right there. We got him. I just gotta actually make the move. I will say, these races are, even though they're long, I gotta say they're quite interesting. Seb with the slicks during the rain. That was so funny. Like, I thought I was seeing something wrong, but no, he had the slick tires in the rain. He tried to gamble, it didn't work. So, oh well, he wasn't gonna score huge points anyway. If it would have worked, we would have called him a genius and he probably would have won a race, but it didn't work, so, oh well. Wow, we're getting rammed. He didn't like us passing him. Too bad. Uh-oh. He's on our left. Let's just hold. Looks like I've already killed the front right. Looks like he's driving a little messy. So we can drive a little messy too. I really called that stage 2 tune-up really well. It seems to work perfectly. That was just a guess for me. Oh well. Okay. So. How was Asphalt 9? I mean, when first year of Asphalt 9, I thought it was pretty fun. Because it was new, exciting to drive. The cars were beautiful to look at. The tracks were pretty gorgeous. But it got stale pretty quickly. I think the car hunts is what really did it for me. And then the constant grinding in the special events, the Grand Prix grinding. They make you grind in Grand Prix, and that's really not fun. Not fun at all. It should be about competition, not about grinding conditions still. And then you try to game the system so you can get a better league, so you can have a better chance to win the car. Did I get to know about the Venom F5? Like, what do you mean? Did I get, early information about it? Because I'm still in contact with GameLoft. I think I still have access to the test drives, even. Alright. Cool. After that mega lap 8. I don't think we can replicate it. We still get a 128 there. Because our tires are broken in. That was a big win. That at least made it to the end. 7 seconds only this time. The Griffith comes in 10 seconds behind. So it's actually a worse race in the Grand Valley, even though the Griffith led more, I think. Trial Mountain, Scotland, yep. Alright, I got my good thumbnail shot from Grand Valley, so we don't need to do anything there. Yeah, those card grinds are crazy. So next up is Monaco, and I think I don't want to do anything with the car. I think the brakes and suspension work pretty well. Yeah, 2016 Asphalt 8. I thought the blueprint system in Asphalt 8, when it first debuted... Whoa, where did that 15 laps come from? Oh man, I thought we were going to be able to get this done in 1 hour. Well, guess not. That sucks. I didn't even realize they slapped this in here. Monaco's already kind of a lengthy track. Bro. Well, put on some tunes. Because this is going to be a grindy race. I didn't even realize it's 15 laps here. That sucks. And look at that, we're gonna... I forgot the names of the corners, but we're gonna shoot up to second pretty much immediately in the first sector. Please don't tell me this is gonna be an incredibly boring race. Because I think at 15 laps, everyone will pit. So it's all about making our tires last lap 8. Driving pretty clumsy in the hairpin. $139 in a road car, though? TVR's having trouble. Oh, he parked the chicane. Okay, that makes that pass pretty easy. He's having trouble with the chicane, and then we just bend it. Lap 1 DNF, guys. Well, that's it. Race over. I could probably in the arcade just skip right to the end, but I'll play the whole thing. I'll play it all out. It was mad. We just made this race incredibly boring. I could pit like every lap and probably still win. But let's keep going. And no heroics into Sandoval. He made his heroics into the chicane. Yeah, 149 on that lap. This is going to be a long race because it's 15 laps. For some reason, Polyphony thought, Monaco, let's do 15. Because screw you. And screw your free time. What is that? Okay, so I guess we'll only do 2 series then today because I didn't realize that they make Monaco so long. I forgot about that. That Monaco is torture. I think Monaco is torture on like every professional league race. Like, if it's 15 laps, on professional league it's 20. If it's 10 laps, it's 15. You know, that kind of stuff. And then in Formula GT, the biggest, longest race of the championship is Monaco. Which I get why they did that in Formula GT, but come on. Snotty boy glow up. Monaco foot lettuce. That's my... I'm just reading it in that voice. Okay. Don't bend the chicane. Man. This is going to be pretty boring. Probably could have even dropped some of the upgrades, but then that would make the race longer, so then what do you do? I noticed we got no Shelby Cobra, which I would have expected, but oh well. TVRs can be quite mischievous. Okay, 140 at least. So this will take, it's 100 seconds for a lap, then it'll take 1500 seconds for the race. So, quick math that one. Yeah, this is gonna be boring. I know everybody thinks test course is the most boring track, but I'd argue Monaco is also pretty boring because the AI are so terrible on this track. "25 minutes, yeah, that sounds about right. So Grand Valley is actually shorter than this. Any chance I'm gonna get Metroid Dread? I've heard it's good. I know everybody's like crying about the piracy about it, which honestly I don't really care. I wouldn't pirate it because I don't have a modded Switch or anything, but I don't know. I know Nintendo games never go on sale, so I would normally say I'd buy it on sale, but that's probably not gonna happen. I don't know, I haven't really touched my Switch that often. I'm kinda collecting dust. I know yesterday they announced the N64 and Sega Genesis expansion pack for $50 a year, which any Nintendo stands try to justify this, but $50 is way too much for Nintendo Online. Especially for a subscription of a handful of N64 and Genesis ROMs. But you get the Animal Crossing DLC. Well, not everybody plays Animal Crossing. They just did that as a cop-out so that, you know, the Nintendo stands can have something and say, oh, but it's only $5, except you're renting DLC. I think that's even dumber. Imagine buying a DLC, but you only have it for 1 year. And the rental costs more than owning the DLC. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, I understand Nintendo charging $20 a year for their pretty bare bones online membership, because Nintendo servers are garbage for online multiplayer. They don't do any like free games in the month, really. They give you the NES and SNES library, which I think is pretty justified if it's bundled in with the $20 membership. I think the backup saves online is kind of scummy to hide it behind the online. You should be able to at least back it up to a USB stick. Because, you know, PlayStation and I'm pretty sure Xbox lets you do that. I know for sure PlayStation does that. Even on the PS5, you can back up your saves to a flash drive. You've been able to do that since the PS3. And PS3 had free online, I'll remind you. But Nintendo, $20, that made sense. It was cheaper than Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. But $50? $50. Yes, it's cheaper than Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus for a year. But you know what all those services have? Proper servers. And they give you free games in the month. You get real voice chat. You get tons of automatic backup options. If you have Xbox Live or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you get like 400 games or some stupid number of games that you can just download and play. That's better than playing, outdated version of Ocarina of Time or Super Mario 64, which, by the way, Super Mario 64 is available on that Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Yes, it's not produced anymore, but I'm pretty sure the Nintendo stands have that game. I would say $50 would only be justified if you had the entire Nintendo library. I've seen some stands say, oh, it should have had GameCube and Game Boy. I'd say go further. Port the Wii library on there, and then we're talking. Basically have Nintendo's entire history on there, and then I could justify $50 a year. Because you know what you can do? You can go get a PC, a half-competent PC. In fact, you could get a Raspberry Pi for $50. Put 19,000 games on it, which includes N64, Genesis, NES, SNES, and tons of other systems from the 80s and 90s. And you could play a better experience than what Nintendo offers you, because you could do save states and, you know, smoothing and get better textures and mod the games and do all sorts of magic that Nintendo just will not do without a subscription. I don't understand why they don't have the Virtual Console again. I mean, I know because they want the money, but they had the Wii and Wii U Virtual Console where you can buy an individual ROM for $10, so it's, you know, more expensive than what you'd get in the subscription, but then you own it forever. You know, kind of like how buying a game is supposed to work. So, you know, it's pretty dumb. I mean, anyone with half a brain knows Nintendo has pretty archaic consumer practices. But, I mean, reading the Twitter and Reddit threads from the stands who try to defend that, it's really hilarious, because they try to bend over backwards to justify something. So, I think their company can do no wrong, and they will suck up as much cash as possible to buy a game that they might play once, or they might trick themselves into loving. But, I don't know. I feel like when I watched that trailer for the expansion pack, they call it the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack. Like, what's with Nintendo calling everything a plus something? Plus Bowser's Fury and Knuckles with Dante from Devil May Cry. New funky mode. Like, come on, Nintendo. Forza Horizon 5 is never getting a PlayStation release. Never has, never will. Like, what kind of question is that? Just like how Gran Turismo will never release on an Xbox. That's kind of like how exclusivity works. You notice we never get Mario on a PlayStation or an Xbox? As soon as our tires are broken in, we're hitting the halfway point after lap 8. So we should probably pit then, but we're not racing anybody. Yeah, no. You notice we never get Halo. I will say PC is more possible to see both games on it. We already have Forza Horizon on PC, we have Halo on PC. And Sony has started to put some games on PC. Like, I think Detroit Become Human's on there, Horizon Zero Dawn's coming on there. We might see Gran Turismo on PC. That'd be cool to see, but it won't hold a candle to, like, you know, the PC sims out there. I think Gran Turismo should stick with being a, you know, PlayStation franchise like it has been. Forza Horizon 5 be on laptops. Well, if it's running Windows, yeah. I mean, I have a laptop and that's how I had Horizon 4. Laptop is a pretty broad term because you can have a Mac, you can have Windows, you can have a Linux, you can have a Chromebook. But I think Horizon 5 will only release on Windows. I don't think there's a Mac version. But if you ever tried to play, like, Forza or any intense game, you know, portably, it never works out because, well, it drains the battery. You can have a really good battery and it will be drained. So there's our quiet pit stop. You notice we have absolutely no competition from anybody. Not even a Lance Stroll moment. You think Windows 10 sucks? I don't think it's bad. I think Windows 8 was worse. Sure, Windows 10 doesn't hold the full candle that Windows 7 does, but I feel like people look back at Windows 7 a bit too nostalgically. I think Windows 10 got the job done. So, I don't know. I don't have any huge complaints with it. I never used Millennium Edition. I think my first computer was a Windows 98 that my parents let me use. And then eventually got a Windows XP. Then, I had a computer with Windows 7 on it. I think my brother had a Vista on his computer. I had Windows 7, then I got 8, and then I upgraded that to 8.1 and eventually 10. And then I have my computer now, which has been on Windows 10. So Windows 11 is buggy and laggy. Well, wasn't Windows 10 also shaky when it first came out? So I'll probably just wait until they roll out the update properly. I won't do any beta or anything like that. Yeah, we've been going for an hour. We're not even done with one series. Like, this is what I mean, guys, where the professional league just drags on. And sometimes you have a great race like in Grand Valley or Trial Mountain, but then sometimes you have a stinker like this one, where the AI just drop off and you're just driving time trials for 25 minutes. I like driving time trials if they give me a goal, but if I'm just driving aimlessly, trying to see what my tires can do, then I don't know, it's not as fun. I will say time trials are more fun on a really long race, like an endurance race. Like when I did the 24 Hours of Le Mans, doing time trial style laps was how I passed the time. Because instead of just like when you make a mistake, you restart, you just go to the next lap. So that's why I made it fun and made the time pass for myself. But I don't know, a 15 lap race isn't really enough to get in the full time trial grind. So it's kind of boring. Especially since Monaco's, it's not the most fun track to drive on a controller. This track sucks driving on a gamepad. Even in Gran Turismo it's fine, but on modern games this track sucks on a gamepad. You need a wheel. I mean, you can still be super precise and not hit the walls on a controller. It's just a lot more difficult to do it. And also with this game, some of its age is in the hit detection, or like where the walls are. It's like some walls that look like you have enough space to fit through. There's an invisible wall right there. So you gotta kind of like know the invisible barriers, which is not fun when you're driving it for the first time trying to learn the game's engine. So we just did 10 laps, which if it was a normal race we would have just done right there, but no, we gotta do an extra 5. You bought a wheel? Cool. Did you buy a Logitech or a Thrustmaster or one of those fancy Fanatec's? I was thinking I want to upgrade my wheel. I want to get the my rig, but I kind of need to either sell my existing rig or I need to get my own place, basically. And everything I want to buy comes down to I need a house or something for myself. Yeah, Thrustmaster TMX Pro, nice. I still love my G29. How am I doing? I'm doing alright. I have my actuarial exam next Wednesday, so I'm pretty stressed for that. So I'm coping by playing GT3. I'm gonna pause and take a swig of water because, well, even if I park it, it's not a timed race. You know what they say? Hydrate or dihydrate. See, look, I bonked that wall right there. The TVR's pitting. He's way far back because he parked it on the chicane. He probably did it again at some point. We might even lap some people. Hydra homies. We are a full minute ahead of the Tommy Kyra. Bonk. Alright, we just murdered our rear tires. There's a driver in Sendivat. I've never tried a controller connecting to a phone. I feel like there'd be a lot of input delay. Even though I played controller through Bluetooth on Windows, I feel like the Windows and Xbox controller just works. Just works. MLG drink the Mountain Dew. I think the closest thing, I've never had like a Mountain Dew, at least not since like 6th grade, when I was like 11 or 12. That's the last time I drank a Mountain Dew. I think the closest thing I've had since then is Baja Blast. But that's a different tier. That's a different tier of gamer drink. Look at that. Hey, he parked on the chicane again. Look at that. TVR parked the chicane. Look at him. Laugh at him. He's in pain. He's in last place, and he keeps parking the chicane. Like, come on, dude. Now I gotta try and lap him. I'll get Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, Brazil 2018. I mean, I kind of want to drive with him and see if he parks in the chicane every lap. Oh. I kind of bonked him like that. He hit the Schumacher spot. There's another car in Sendivat. I think it's the roof. Oh no, it's the S2000. Bump and run. Yep. Doing it for Dale. Send it down the inside. Give a little bit of a handbrake turn. Milk Squad is in full effect. Yep. Man, I have nostalgia for that. And I wish we could go back to just complaining about tokens and not worrying about anything else. Now we have to complain about hacks and grinding and all that stuff in Asphalt. It's just too much. And yeah, I'll say it over and over, but I mean, when you're playing a game as a service, if you step back, you'll realize how much just like a game, you don't need to depend on the game. There's a lot more fun stuff that you can do and still feel like you're fulfilling something. I'm playing a 20-year-old game, but I'm having fun with it. Even with some of these grindy races, I think it's fun. This game's fun to drive. There's nothing predatory about this game because it hasn't changed since 2001, just our knowledge about the game. Back then, where our fun depended on what the next update dropped. I don't know, not the best time to live as an Asphalt player. Not in my eyes. The one thing that does worry me about GT7 is how is the longevity going to be and what are they going to do with the updates. I mean, GT Sport had a great update map because the game started out kind of dry. So they can only go up, really. I wonder how GT7 will be. Oh, we parked it. The Binala. We had a Binala moment. Not quite a spin, but a bend. This little has too much cars, not enough tracks. It's like Ridge Racer Type 4, kind of. That game had a great selection of tracks, but then we were trying to get all 300 cars. It sucks. I'd never done that before, and I probably never will. I'd just rather just use the cheat code and just get all the cars instantly and play through, you know, the Grand Prix once for each team. Alright, so after that stinker lap, we're going to actually be on the final lap, guys. I noticed on Twitter that everybody is... Well, okay. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on Forza Horizon 5 from the preview stuff we've seen. I don't know if any of you guys have watched the preview stuff, or if you guys are trying to hold out because you don't want to spoil anything, even though there's not much to spoil about Forza. But I noticed on like Twitter and YouTube, you know, a lot of big influencers and YouTubers got access to Horizon 5 and journalists, so we have some early reviews and first impressions, and everyone seems to say that Horizon 5 is the best racing game of all time. But I watched some footage, and I looked at some of the stuff they are adding, and I honestly feel like, well, it's just Horizon 4 expanded. Is it going to be fun? Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty fun. And you know what, I haven't played a Horizon from scratch since 2018, so it'll probably be fun for a bit. Best ever? Probably not. It might seem that way when it first drops, but give it enough updates and give it time, and then we'll see. Like, it's just another Forza game. In the long run, it will be just another Forza. Like, people have nostalgia for Horizon 3. They will have nostalgia for Horizon 4, but honestly I feel like it's not as significant as like the first Horizon or the Xbox 360 games. So I don't know. AI doesn't change, the game model doesn't change, there's still wheel spins, they still give you too many cars, there's still clothes, there's still avatars. There's too many, like, It's fun to have a sandbox where you have no choices, or you have no limits like in Beam and G-Drive. But on Forza, where there's so much put into it... Wait, why am I waiting for AI? What am I even waiting for? I'd have to wait for them to complete a whole lap, and I'm not doing that. Sorry. All that effort for just 10,000 credits. Man. Alright, well, we got our thumbnail shot from before, so... let's just get that good position. Alright, prize car time. What's it gonna be? Hour of our efforts. Hour and 20 minutes of our efforts. That's a convertible. A red Shelby Cobra. Sweet. I wish it was that blue and white stripes, but you know what? I'll take that. I'll take a red one. Red's my favorite color. I think you can buy a Shelby Cobra, though, is the thing. For 500,000 credits, I'm pretty sure. So, nice car. Shelby Cobra. Worth a lot. It's in just straight up red. I will take it. And that puts us at 65% after an hour. Yikes. That's the end of the segment.